Hello and welcome to mytesttree.com. This is a web page dedicated to helping you get the highest mark possible on the TOEIC exam. My name is Amanda, and I will be your guide in this video series. In this video, I am going to give a general introduction to the TOEIC exam. I will be covering the following topics. Number 1, what TOEIC and ETS stand for. Number 2, a brief history of the test. Number 3, why people take the test. Number 4, variations of the test. And number 5, changes to the test. So let's get started with number 1, what TOEIC and ETS stand for. The word TOEIC is an acronym. An acronym is a word formed from the initial letters of the several words in the name. So, in the case of TOEIC, it stands for Test of English for International Communication. It was made by a company called ETS, which is another acronym for English Testing Service. Number 2, a brief history of the test. The TOEIC exam was originally made as a way of testing the English level of Japanese test takers. Its first test was written more than 30 years ago. Today, TOEIC is used in 120 different countries around the world, and more than 10,000 companies and government agencies use the scores to help identify the English level of future employees. The test is taken by 5 million people each year. Number 3, why people take the test. Most people who take the TOEIC exam do so because they want to use the score to get an edge in the workplace, or because they need the results for university entrance requirements, or it may be part of a mandatory class they are taking. A higher score on the exam can be the difference between getting a job or it being given to someone else. Many employers choose to use the TOEIC test results because it gives an accurate idea of the level of English an employee has related to tasks they will perform on the job. Number 4, variations of the test. There are now 2 common TOEIC tests which exist. The one which I will be talking about in this video series is called the Listening and Reading Test. It is based on 200 multiple choice questions and is divided into 2 sections, the listening section and the reading section. There are 100 questions in each section and the test takes 2 hours to write. A second, more simplified version of the listening and reading test also exists. This is called the TOEIC Bridge Test. It is designed for beginner to intermediate English learners and consists of 100 multiple choice questions, requiring about 1 hour of testing time. There is also a newer test, which I will not be focusing on in this video series, called the Speaking and Writing Test. This test is gaining popularity around the world. It is taken by computer at ETS testing centers. It has 11 speaking questions, which the test taker has 20 minutes to complete, and 8 written questions, which take 1 hour to complete. The idea of this test is to check the pronunciation, intonation, grammar, vocabulary, relevance, and completeness of the participant's response. Finally, at number 5, we have changes to the test. If you have taken the TOEIC exam before, you might find there are some changes from how it had been done in the past. In 2006, ETS changed some elements of the exam to make it more relevant, and later, in 2007, another change was made to the structure of the questions, so they were not so focused on testing English grammar, but rather on overall comprehension. The new test works as follows. The listening section is given 45 minutes to complete. It has 4 sections to it. The first is photographs, which has 10 questions. The second is question response, which has 30 questions. The third is short conversations, which has 30 questions. And the fourth is short talks, which has 30 questions. The second section of the exam is the reading section, which you will have 75 minutes to complete. It is also in 3 parts. So at number 5, we have incomplete sentences, which has 40 questions to it, and number 6 is text completion, which has 12 questions. And finally, reading comprehension has 48 questions to it. A final change that was made to the exam is that now there are different accents which are used on the test. Previously, it was only the American accent that was used. Now, the test has expanded to also include British, Canadian, and Australian accents. The majority of the accents will be American and Canadian. However, they will occasionally use British and Australian. What is good to know is that they will not use any vocabulary or phrases that are not used in America or Canada. So there is no need to study grammar or vocabulary differences between these countries. If you are wanting to prepare yourself for the different accents that you will hear, all you need to do is become familiar with the different sounds. You can do this by watching movies, including YouTube clips, of people speaking in British and Australian accents. So that brings this first video to an end. Please come and see me at www.mytesttree.com for more videos, information, and practice for the TOEIC exam. Thanks, and see you there!